Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Mother and son murdered in Manchester. Investigators are seeking to determine the motive for the murder of a mother and her son in Manchester. The bodies of 53-year-old Altiero and her son, 35-year-old Cleon Palmer, were found about 11 o'clock Tuesday morning at their home in Providence, Christiana. Investigators theorize that the two were killed on Saturday by unknown assailants. Mrs. Rowe's sister, Doreen Rowe, says the deceased was a good person who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She told reporters that her sister was visiting her son when she was killed. She said family members have been trying to make contact with Mrs. Rowe since Saturday but were unsuccessful. Mandeville couple found dead in suspected murder-suicide. Police were on the scene of a suspected murder-suicide involving a couple of Bonito Crescent in Mandeville. Relatives named the deceased as Stephanie and Ricky Ellis, both in their 40s. Reporters understand that the wife was employed as a loan officer at a financial institution in the parish. The husband operated a taxi for years. A senior police source told reporters that about mid-afternoon on Tuesday, the police, in probing a missing persons report after the woman didn't turn up at work, went to the couple's home where the body was found with a wound to her forehead. The man was subsequently found hanging from a scaffolding. Grieving relatives were at the scene. Major probe underway into cocaine bust at Norman Manley International Airport. A major investigation is underway into the circumstances surrounding the seizure of 12 kilograms of cocaine at Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston on Monday. The police say about 7 a.m., during routine security checks, maltese were detected on a suitcase designated for the United States of America. A search of the luggage revealed that illicit drug with an estimated street value of US $600,000 was a part of the suitcase. The owner of the suitcase, who is a national of both the US and Jamaica, reportedly fled the airport but was later held during a manhunt in the Kingston 6 area. He was arrested for reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Dangerous Drug Act. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigation. Opposition proposes high-level agenda for Vale Royal talks. The opposition People's National Party has proposed a list of national imperatives for the expected Vale Royal talks early this year. Last month, Prime Minister Andrew Holness disclosed that the Vale Royal talks are expected to resume this month as part of efforts to build consensus with the opposition on issues related to the state of emergency. The Vale Royal talks are a mechanism for members of two major political parties to have bipartisan discussions on critical issues of national importance and find solutions to Jamaica's common social problems. In a statement on January 3rd, opposition leader Mark Golding noted that the issue of national security is the most important agenda item for the talks. He said the next Vale Royal discussions should include a mutual commitment to continuous consultations to build consensus on making Jamaica a safe place for citizens.
We wish the following items to be included in the discussions. Firstly, a comprehensive national program to engage youths at risk. Secondly, a new legislative mechanism to target known so-called violence producers, and we have already formulated our proposal in that regard. Thirdly, reimagining and redefining the scope of zones of special operations, ZOZOs, as the main tool to restore order and peace in troubled communities when there are flare-ups. Fourthly, we need a shared understanding of the specific objectives of the proposed and long overdue legislation for enhanced security measures. And finally, we need an immediate reset of the government of Jamaica's engagement with the Jamaican diaspora's experts on crime and security matters so as to achieve a productive footing that could help Jamaica overcome our most serious national problem.
Police Commissioner says JCF looking forward to rewarding results in fight against crime this year. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is looking for rewarding results in the fight against crime this year. He was speaking at an annual devotion at his office in Kingston on January 3rd. The Commissioner noted that the JCF has made several important arrangements and has implemented critical strategies aimed at producing results this year and beyond. Meantime, Major General Anthony Anderson is urging members of the JCF to develop a growth mindset which will allow them to be victorious in their operations. The Commissioner said, despite the expected challenges of the new year, an optimistic spirit and growth mindset will help the constabulary overcome issues. He stressed that a positive mindset will attract positive results.
I expect fantastic results this year. And you know why? Because I have the team, we have the plans, we have the changes that got interrupted in 2020 and 2021. We pushed through in 2022 that by the end of the year we started to see the benefits of it. And 2023 and set the conditions to launch in 2023 with a new energy, with a number of the things that were delayed now in place. But most importantly, we have people who are committed. We have people who are getting a greater understanding of their own ability to influence what is around them and create a positive influence in other people's lives and also in their own lives. When you have that, it doesn't really matter what you lack because you have enough to move ahead, to make a difference, both professionally and personally. It means that when you set your mind that way and then you act upon that mindset, that is the definition of the relentless pursuit of excellence and being a force for good. Excellence is not an end point, it's a process. You continue striving towards it. It means that every day you do a little bit extra. Every day you set your intention in the mornings to have that great day. That's a decision. You will not control everything that is thrown at you. You will not control everything that will change around you. How you choose to react to it is entirely our own choice. So my advice, my exhortation is to choose solutions, to choose and to see opportunities where there are challenges and count our blessings so that more blessings can accrue to us.
Incorporated Master Builders Association expects construction sector to continue to do well this year. President of the Incorporated Master Builders Association, Lenworth Kelly, expects the construction sector to continue to do well this year. Since the onset of the COVID pandemic, construction has been one of the most resilient sectors in the country. Speaking with reporters, Mr. Kelly said the sector performed reasonably well in 2022 and this trend should spill over into 2023. Mr. Kelly expressed hope for the continued decrease in the prices of lumber and other essential construction material. Meanwhile, he does not want to see a continued decline in the construction of some projects.
Lumber kind of came back. It's not back to where it was pre-pandemic, but it's rolled back a fair bit, still hoping that it can come back to pre-pandemic levels, but that might be more wishful thinking. Steel prices also corrected somewhat. Yeah, prices like aluminum items and so on would be affected the Ukraine-Russia conflict. And so there are still always be the unknowns that you can't gauge going into 2023. We'll hope that we continue to see a rollback of some key material prices once demand is down in the bigger markets. There has been some tapering off in applications for building projects, apartments, and so on. A bit of a tapering off. We're not quite sure if it's just a blip, but we want to kind of just follow that with the approving agencies like NEPA and the municipal corporations, just to see what is coming in, because if there's a reduction in applications, then you anticipate down the road that there'll be a reduction in construction.
National Road Safety Council to meet next week to determine how road crashes and fatalities can be reduced. The National Road Safety Unit is to meet next week Thursday, January 12, to determine how road crashes and fatalities can be reduced. The scheduled meeting comes as the country struggles to reduce road fatalities. 488 people were killed in road crashes last year, the highest number to date. The country's 4 latest deaths occurred in Trelawney on Saturday and Westmoreland on Sunday. 3 people were killed in a crash along the Flamingo Main Road in Trelawney, while a Jamaica Defence Force soldier was killed in a collision along the Bettertown Main Road in Westmoreland. Vice Chairman of the NRSC, Dr. Jones, says efforts have to be ramped up to prevent road crashes and therefore the council will be meeting with government officials on the matter this month.
The nation must respond to this crisis urgently and decisively. The National Road Safety Council has therefore scheduled an evaluation and planning meeting for next Thursday, January 12. with the help of the special appointee from the Prime Minister, Minister Floyd Green, we are going to look very carefully at the data, look at what happened last year and what can be improved, look ahead to what tools will be given to us this year, and see if we can remodel the tools which we already have. Seek to find dedicated funding for the program for road safety in this country, and to examine all possibilities that will assist us in dealing with this national crisis.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the